Query of the week. So this week's query arose when I was working with a client in relation to selling their accountancy firm. Now, to be honest with you, the question has not just come up from one source. In the last few weeks, we've been asked this question many times. And the query is this: I'm thinking of selling my firm. How long does it take for you to sell an accountancy firm? And how long should we be preparing for the process if we're going to get maximum value? And so when people ask the question, most people are asking us, well, Des, if I say to you now I want to sell my accountancy practice, how long before we actually get a sale? But the real underlying question that people are asking and should be asking is, it's about not just, well, we're going to sell your practice, let's start moving through. We've got a 9-step process for selling an accountancy practice. It's not about that 9-step process. It's about you preparing. It's about you optimizing your price. You see, the reality for me is that this concept of I'm going to sell my accountancy practice and I'm going to get pound for pound or euro for euro based on the turnover of my accountancy practice, while that still holds up currently into the future, and even now I can see that concept being undermined. You see, if I'm going to buy your accountancy practice, I'm not just interested in buying turnover. What I'm really interested in is buying an asset that generates cash for me. So, whether you're 27 and just starting out on your journey, whether you're 37 and you've got a few years under your belt, maybe you're 47, and at 47 now you've had some good years and now you've got one eye on the horizon of retirement. Or maybe you're 57 and retirement is a real thing for you now. It's a real consideration and exiting. Or maybe you're 67 and possibly you've left a little bit late. The answer to anybody who asks me when should they start preparing to exit their firm, the answer is always now. It is now. It is today. And you see, because for me, you have to have an exit strategy. There's no point in being in business unless you have an exit strategy. So if you're not building your accountancy firm as an income generating asset, it means really you're just chasing revenue. And the difficulty with revenue generating businesses is they're often dependent on personalities. And a true business is one that, it creates a result without being dependent on you or unique personalities. And you see, some accountants say to me, some of the younger accountants will say to me, but Des, I don't want to necessarily sell my firm in the short term. But you see, even if you don't want to sell your firm in the short term, let me ask you this question. Do you want to be a business owner or do you want to be self-employed? You see, the difficulty with being self-employed is the business depends on you. And I appreciate SME accountancy firms. I appreciate that you are central and you're fundamental. But no matter what size your firm is, we can build a cash generative leverage business and we can look at optimizing profits. And you see, if you build a cash generative leverage business that generates profits, well then you may never want to sell until the time actually comes when it's the thing for you to do. So we've developed a sort of a 6-step process in terms of building a business for sale, building an accountancy practice for sale. And we start off, one of the first things that we look at is we look about the truth about the value of your firm and why the pound for pound turnover, the euro for euro turnover, why it doesn't always stack up. And where really it's about building a business that generates positive cash flows and consistently generates profits. And you see, you say to me now, well, Des, I want to sell my business. And so many accountancy firms are getting so focused on profitability and reducing stress. How do you get focused on profitability and reducing stress? Well, you look at the real driver of your accountancy firm, and that's your customer list. Now, if you at some point in time in the future want to sell your firm, essentially what we're selling is the customer list because that's what generates the revenues. So in the very same way as you only want ideal customers in your customer list, and in the very same way as practices were struggling, have too many non-ideal customers, have too many customers, well, when should we start working on that? We should start working on it today. If you're going to sell in 2 years' time, if you're going to sell in 10 years' time, if you're going to sell in 25 years' time, if you don't even know when you're going to sell, but you just know that you want to build a business, well, we've got to look and work on our customers. But you see, it's not just about selling the customers, it's about selling a cash generative system. So that's the type of work that we do, the method that we do the work, and that it's almost like a format of a franchise business, that the business just works. The business just works. Yes, there's elements of the business that are going to require certain levels of expertise. And you see, how do you change direction if you're going to build a saleable business? Well, it's all about pricing and creating a positive cash flow cycle. The day of building up, charging all the time onto the timesheets, building up all the work in progress, and retrospectively billing your customers who then take time to pay you, that day is gone. We need to look at modern pricing methodologies, and we need to look at creating a positive cash flow cycle. And even if you want to sell your firm in 2-3 years' time, there's things that we can do. I call it getting quick wins. And all of this is underpinned by creating a saleable firm strategy. I think that nearly every accountancy firm in the country should have a saleable firm strategy. Definitely, if you're going to sell, we need to start working on that now to optimize the value, to make your business more saleable. And you see, here's the thing, just some other considerations here for you. You see, everybody has ideas in relation to selling their firm and what they should do, but very few people actually deliver. And you need to watch here because the times are changing. The times are changing, and you need to start looking right now, today, whenever you're planning on selling, whenever you're planning on exiting, you need to ask yourself, well, am I self-employed or am I working towards being a business owner? So that's our query of the week this week. If I want to sell my accountancy firm, when should I start working on the plan and the process? And my answer is today. Now, we are running an hour-long webinar on this topic on the 13th of February. So if you are interested in selling your firm now or in the future, or even if you just want to build a business, a more profitable business, check in on this seminar. You can book your place by clicking on the link below, or if you visit cpdstore.com, you can see our Building Your Practice to Sell webinar on the 13th of February, along with all of our other upcoming webinars. So, if you're watching this anywhere other than OmniPro TV, please leave a comment and possibly even suggest a question for next week. Until I see you again, let's get it done.